Am I the a-hole for asking my sibling to leave my wedding early because their kids were causing a scene?
They're just bad kids.
Just awful.
My wedding was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, but it turned into a chaotic mess thanks to my sibling, Ryan, and Ryan's kids. I know that being a single dad to three, ages 5, 3, and 1, is tough, but I made it clear months before the wedding that it was a mostly child free event. I allowed a few exceptions for close family, trusting that they would keep their kids in check during the most important parts of the day. I couldn't have been more wrong.
What were you thinking?
You are so naive.
As soon as they arrived, his kids were running around like it was a playground. During the ceremony, his youngest started crying uncontrollably, and the middle one kept wandering up the aisle while we were exchanging vows. I was already frustrated, but I kept my cool until the reception, where it escalated even more. They were grabbing food off of other people's plates. What? Spilling drinks, and one of them even knocked over our wedding cake stand. Luckily, it did not fall. I was mortified. When Ryan did not seem to care or even try to control them, I felt like I had no choice. I pulled him aside and asked if he could leave early and take the kids home.
Leave now!
Scram!
Get out!
I even offered to pay for a ride so he would not have to leave right away. But he went off on me, calling me a bridezilla and saying that I only cared about a perfect day rather than understanding what he was going through as a single parent. He said I was being selfish and that family should always come first, especially when they're struggling.
Family first.
Just shut up.
Now, some of my family thinks I'm the villain for asking him to leave and that I'm too focused on appearances. My parents are siding with him, saying I should have let it slide because kids will be kids, and it was unreasonable to expect silence at a wedding with children. But she said it early on. She didn't want your kids at the wedding. Other guests were clearly uncomfortable with the chaos, and I feel like I had every right to ask for peace on my big day. Ryan hasn't spoken to me since, and some relatives think I owe him an apology. Am I the a-hole for wanting my wedding day to go smoothly, or was I out of line for asking him to leave?
I want to ask the other family members who said, "Oh, let it go," and where were you when these kids were misbehaving? Grandma, grandpa, take care of the kids. Help him out by taking care of those kids.
If you're
And
not the
stop
flower
disrupting.
girl, I don't want you on my aisle.
Yeah.
You're not the flower girl. Get off my aisle. We're exchanging vows. Why are your kids roaming? But you had me at digging in the food on people's plates. That's why I don't do buffets. I don't like people touching my stuff.
Kids are germ factories. I mean, by definition, they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be, though. When you're young and you're developing your immune system, you get all the germs, you spread
And
them around. That's
sidebar,
what you do.
Uncle Patrick and Auntie Layla, we love the kids. We love them. We think they're
We don't have
amazing. We
them,
love
but we
them.
love them.
But
Yes,
we
yes.
always have loved the kids. Our coworkers knew that we love the kids. But there's a time and a place. And she didn't say it. I'm thinking this probably was the evening wedding. First of all, evening weddings, make it clear. Make it clear. No children allowed. If you're offended, I understand. You're welcome to not go. People try to guilt you into letting their kids come to things. No, it's not a place for children. You know why? Weddings are long. Oh my God. The wedding itself, sometimes those ceremonies are an hour or more. Then there's like pictures and stuff and the cocktail hour. By the time the reception's over, it's been a 6-hour day. I
And
don't expect your child to be quiet for 6 hours, which is why your child wasn't invited.
yeah, having been a kid myself,
Yes.
like church is boring. And a wedding is boring if it's not yours. And you want to climb over things. You want to do things. You shouldn't be there.
No.
Period.
Have the babysitter come pick them up after the exchanging of the vows. Because by then those kids are ready to go. They let you know when they were roaming the aisles, they were ready to go.
And mom or grandma and grandpa and the rest of the family who are criticizing her should have stepped up, helped pay for a babysitter, and
Yes.
found a solution before this big problem occurred. Everybody
Yeah.
knew it was going to happen. All right, a couple of comments. You did him the huge courtesy of making an exception for him and his children, and all you asked from him was to not let his kids treat your wedding like it was their own personal playground. And you failed. Kids will be kids is just an excuse for lazy parenting and wanting to
Ooh.
dodge responsibility for errant offspring.
Errant offspring.
Errant offspring. You know what? He is, a single dad, 3 kids.
Bless
That
his
is a
heart.
lot. But you know what your kids are like. This did not come as a surprise to you that they behaved
Mhm.
this way.
No.
If it did, there's a problem. Am I the a-hole for telling my cousin I can't come to his wedding because of the no child rule?
No kids allowed.
You're not invited.
Adults only.
You are not welcome.
My cousin is getting married at the end of August in California at a vineyard. No one in the family is in California, so to go, I need to get a hotel. Me, my mom, and brother found an Airbnb that's relatively close. Also, I should mention my husband is posted abroad and won't be coming. I was going to fly to the US for this. The invite came out only 3 weeks ago, and we had to scramble to find a place. The issue now is that I have a 4-month-old baby who only breastfeeds and won't take a bottle. They just let us know that no children under 12 are allowed. So I told them that logistically, I can't come. They suggested that me and my mother go back and forth to the Airbnb to watch the baby. And I said, it's just too big of a deal to fly all the way there, pay for an Airbnb, and then go back and forth during the wedding. It just doesn't seem worth it. It's a lot of effort to do all of that by myself with a small baby. The Airbnb and plane are still refundable at this point. My cousin is mad that I'm canceling as they paid per head and can't reduce the amount at this point. I said they can try and find someone else to invite. I said it's his fault that they didn't write the child rule on the invitation. He said I should not be stingy and get a babysitter. I don't know anyone in that area of California, and honestly, paying for a babysitter on top of an Airbnb and a flight is ridiculous to me. He says it is standard to not bring children to weddings. So am I the a-hole for canceling close to the date because I can't bring my baby with me? A couple of things here she added later on. The short notice is because the bride is pregnant. I live with my husband in Germany where he is posted. And here's an update to this. Apparently, about 30 people have canceled because of this, and that's why they're complaining so much about the costs.
Got it. Well, here's the thing. They're sending this invitation out very last minute. So everyone cannot accommodate your last minute wedding invitation. That's just real life. People have to plan. They plan financially for vacation. So your wedding is part of probably their vacation time. They're taking off work. They have to give notice. And then also, if they have kids, you got to give them time to make accommodations. So thank you to this person writing because you're doing the right thing. You're saying, hey, I can't come because I do have my kids. I would not be mad. I'd say, thank you for telling me. I'm not changing my no kid policy. And everybody should be happy. But it's not our fault that everyone's canceling because you also waited to the last minute to invite people to your wedding.
I mean, it is perfectly understandable that the logistics here just don't work. So don't be mad at them.
Don't be mad.
It's your fault.
You could do other things. You could elope. You could go to the
Yeah.
courthouse and just to the justice of the peace, have a big reception later, maybe after you have the baby.
Well, that seems reasonable enough.
I suspect once you have that baby, you might be a little bit more understanding to the cousin who has a brand new baby who was
Right.
willing to travel and spend a whole lot of money to come to your wedding. And you did not indicate in the original invitation
Right.
what your child policy was.
So the cousin, you're not the a-hole for not going. You are clear on why you can't go. You're trying to accommodate the bride and groom's wishes, and the timing just is not realistic for everybody. So no, you're not.
It's not her fault at all. I
Well,
get
here's
it.
some comments. Do not let your cousin bully you. Cancel everything and stay home.
Yes, this right there.
This person says your cousin is trying to make his bad planning your problem. How ridiculous to ask a mother to get a babysitter for a 4-month-old baby who is breastfed in a strange city where she doesn't know anyone.
Yep.
True.
Absolutely.
And finally, this person says, stop arguing with him about this. I can't make it. Ignore any text about it. Hang up the phone, whatever. Agreed. Can't make it.
Be
Wish
done.
you well. I'm sending a lovely gift. The bride is afraid of being upstaged by my toddler.
This is my day. This is about me.
All eyes on me.
So, what do you do when your sister in law is freaking out crying because she thinks her nephew, who was a year and a half, is going to steal the spotlight from her at her wedding? She asked him to be the ring bearer and supply the accessories. She made a board book for him all about being a ring bearer. I thought she was excited. What gives all of a sudden? So, do you not take your son to the wedding? Do you take him anyway, but try to make sure he doesn't have too much fun and upstage her?
You know what? That happens sometimes with ring bearers. The reason you're picking this little toddler is because the baby is cute, the child is cute, and everybody's going to be looking and laughing and smiling, and that's the whole point of the whole ring bearer thing.
For like 30 seconds or less. It's
Mhm.
their moment for like 15 to 30 seconds. Same thing with the flower girls. Same thing when the groom walks out. He gets about 10 seconds of awe. And then it's all about you, Miss Bride. If you're jealous of a toddler, you need to do some self-reflection.
Yeah, if you can't stand the attention not being on you for 15 seconds, there's a problem here, and
Yeah,
it's not the toddler.
it's not the cute toddler.
She needs a reality check, and you need to find a babysitter so you can have a nice time without worrying about checks notes. A toddler upstaging an insecure bride. I deduct the cost of the babysitter from the gift as a bridezilla tax, too.
Mm.
Take your son out of the running as a ring bearer now so she can find Gollum to do it for her and not worry about being outshined. Something
True.
leads me to believe Gollum would probably get more attention, by the way. That's from Lord of the Rings, by the way. It's
Oh,
like,
Gollum.
precious with the ring. Wedding planning is a lot. If she's not normally like this, I'd chalk it up to anxiety and nerves getting to her. Something else will come along and pull her focus that seems to be the nature of wedding planning. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to ask if she wants him to, quote, step down.
No, because then she's gonna be offended. Her feelings gonna be hurt. You think I don't like your child. It's not that, girl. You are making up this scenario that he's gonna be the star of the day, and he might be, and it's okay because he's a kid.
Shit's going to happen. It's the way weddings work. Guests not respecting our wishes about kids. So I'm the bride here. I'm getting married in September. My venue has limited capacity, so we opted to have only kids in the family attend, no friends' children. We made this clear on our wedding website and have verbally told friends who have asked. Everyone has been very understanding except for one couple.
What don't you get?
Are you dense?
They've asked several times, to which we said we're sorry, but we can't make an exception because it wouldn't be fair to the others. Some of our other friends are having only one parent attend so the other can stay home with their kids. I'm not sure why this one couple feels entitled to bring their child. They just RSVP'd and we didn't include their child's name on the online system, so they left a note saying they are bringing their child. I feel so disrespected by this. My fiance is going to talk to them, but I don't know what to do if they just end up bringing their child the day of anyways. That seems like something that they would do after this.
It is your wedding. You have the right to not feel bad by calling them and saying, "Hey, I saw your RSVP," and you put in the note that you are bringing your child. Just a reminder, there are no children. And listen, I know that's kind of hard for some people because people had to get babysitters or maybe a spouse is staying home. If that's too much for you, I totally understand. We would not be offended if you can't make it. Period.
That is the conversation that they had with all the other parents with kids.
Including some family. Yes.
Yeah.
Why are you
And
special?
they're just not getting it.
They
Do
don't
not bring
get
your
it.
child.
Yes.
Period. It
Mhm.
says you can't. You can't.
This person says, rescind the invitation. Sorry, since you won't comply with the invitation, you are no longer invited. Again, you don't have to do it that way. You can kind of finesse it and say, "Oh, I know this might be a lot to ask. And, we love little Sandy, but it is an adults only wedding minus the family members in the wedding party. So if you can't make it, we totally understand. No hard feelings."
No hard feelings, bro.
Oh, there's hard feelings.
This person says, your child is not invited to our wedding. We hope to see you and your partner there, but we understand if you can't make it. That's exactly what I said. That's what I said.
It's not about you.
It's not about you. It doesn't mean they don't love your kids. They just don't want to see your kid today.
Or they just don't love your kids.
They probably do love your kids.
Or they don't.